Hey guys, today we're going to get started in an easy seated position. Let's place our right leg in front or on top of our left if we're comfortable practicing with half lotus. If you would like, feel free to grab a strap and or a block before we begin practice. They might come in handy today. So we'll begin by sitting up nice and tall, lengthening through the crown of the head. So feel the spine just completely stacked like little Jenga pieces right on top of the hips. Those shoulders float right above the hip bones, and we close our eyes. Just start to begin softening through the body, releasing in between the eyebrows, softening the jaw, rolling the shoulders back and down away from the ears. Belly is soft, and we surrender all the way down to the toes and through the fingertips. So anytime we do this body scan, we're not only checking in to soften through the body, make sure we're not holding tension anywhere, but we're also checking in to see if there's any body parts we might be taking care of today. Maybe our shoulders are a little sore, maybe we have an injury. Just really being mindful and honoring where our bodies are today. Let's take another nice deep inhale through the nose. Let that breath sink heavy down to the belly. And exhale through the nose again. On our next inhale, let's see if we can inhale to a count of 5, our own internal count of 5. Nice, deep, and slow. And then exhale to a count of 5. Another nice inhale to a count of 5. And exhale to a count of 5. So 2 more deep breaths. This time let's see if we can lengthen the inhalation and the exhalation to a count of 7. Starting to slow everything down, creating space in the body, space between our thoughts. And when we've finished, we'll just return our breath to its normal cadence, normal pace. We'll bring our hands to heart center. Inhale, fingertips and chin lift to the sky. Exhale, sweep the fingertips down next to the hips. Drop the chin to the chest. Hands to heart center. Inhale, reach the fingertips up. Nice long spine. Exhale, sweep the fingertips down. Release the chin one more time. Hands to heart center. Inhale, reach those fingertips up. This time, let's separate those palms. Drop the shoulders down away from the ears. And we're going to start to hinge forward at the hips. And once we've met our edge, the place where we can no longer hinge at the hips and we start getting into the spine, let's allow the spine to curl and roll down. Release the palms, release the fingers, release any tension in the arms, the shoulders, and the neck. I'm keeping my head slightly elevated just so you can hear me. Inhale, let's start to roll up, stack one vertebrae on top of the other. We'll place our hands on our knees. Inhale, let's roll the heart open, shoulders move back, tailbone moves back. Exhale, curl the tailbone and chin under, nice big C spine. Inhale, roll open, seated cow. Exhale, curl under, seated cat. We'll come back to center. Let's get one more little movement in our spine. So our spine moves in 6 different ways. We have forward flexion, and then we have backward extension. We have the lateral flexion, which is side to side, and then our spine twists. So the healthiest thing that we can do every single day is integrate those movements into our practice. Get that spine nice and healthy. Your age is told by how flexible your spine is. So let's start with that right palm or the right forearm on the mat. We want to keep that left hip bone plugged into the mat. Inhale, reach the left fingertips up over the ear. Big, beautiful stretch in that left side body. Deep inhale. And exhale. On the next inhale, let's come back up through to center. Opposite side, left palm or forearm is on the mat. Inhale, the right fingertips extend over the ears. Try to keep that right hip in the mat. Send a big, beautiful breath to the right side of that body. And on the next inhale, we'll come back up to center. Let's switch our legs. So this time the left leg is either in front or on top. Easy seated pose or crisscross applesauce. Hands to heart center again. Inhale, fingertips and chin lift. Exhale, sweep the fingertips down, release the chin. Hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up and lengthen. Exhale, sweep down, release that chin. Hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up. This time the palms separate. Drop the shoulders down. And we're going to start to hinge forward at the hips. Keep that spine nice and flat as long as we can, and then release and round down. Again, soften in through that cervical spine. Drop the hands, drop the forearms. I'm stretching into that left hip here. We'll slowly start to roll up one vertebrae at a time. Hands on the knees. Inhale, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, curl everything under. Seated cat-cow again. Inhale, open up. And exhale, round through. One more lateral stretch here. Left hand or forearm is on the mat. Inhale, reach the arm up. So that shoulder is a ball and socket joint, right? We don't have to cinch that shoulder up to the ear. We can create nice long space in the neck while still moving the arm freely. So try not to let the shoulder move with the arm, okay? Inhale, come back up to center. Exhale, let's move to the opposite side. Left arm extends overhead, again creating that space in the neck. Next inhale, we'll come back up to center. Let's grab our twist. So feet are on the earth, knees point to the sky, hands are behind us just for stability, keeping that spine nice and tall. And we're going to start to windshield wiper the knees side to side. So it's up to you how close or how far apart you want the feet to be. It just depends on how deep you want to get into the lower back and into that sacrum. And the next time we find our knees falling to the left, we're going to drop them all the way to the mat. Inhale, reach the right fingertips up to the sky, and then exhale, drop them behind us. Take a deep inhale here. On the exhale, we'll come back to center. Windshield wiper those knees again. And the next time we find them falling to the right, release them. Inhale, left fingertips reach up. Exhale, twist behind. And we'll return back to center. Let's make our way onto our hands and our knees. The shoulders stack over top of the wrists. Fingertips are spread so wide, imagine you could place a golf ball in between each one of those fingers. Stack the hips over top of the knees. So this is a nice neutral position, tabletop. We're going to do a little core work here. So first, pull that belly button towards the spine. And we don't have to engage at 100%. Just about 20% is enough. We're also going to lift up through the pelvic floor, and in doing that, we engage the transverse abdominals, which are the muscles that really help support our core, not the superficial six-pack abs that you see. I do not have those. So pull up through the pelvic floor, just engage again about 20%, not 100%, we're not clenching, and then pull that belly button towards the spine about 20%. And from here, let's just tuck the toes under, and we're going to lift those knees just a few inches up off of the mat. Keep that gaze down. Keep breathing. Drop the knees back down, untuck the toes, and from here we're just going to hinge back into extended child's pose. So creep those fingertips towards the top of the mat. Release the forehead down to the mat or on top of stacked fists. Maybe we use a block here. We want to give that spine a chance to release. So if our hips don't sink all the way back to our heels, it's totally fine. And if this is not a comfortable place to be, feel free to come up, lift the hips. Feel free to put some padding underneath of the knees. Make your practice comfortable. Let's take one more deep breath here. And then on the next inhale, let's lift back up to all fours. So we're going to do that same core work again. Tuck the toes under and then lift the knees up. Hold here. Make sure those shoulders aren't hunching up next to the ears. Drop the knees, untuck the toes, and then hinge back one last time. So reach those fingertips as far forward as we can. On the next inhale, let's lift up and stack the shoulders over those wrists again, but this time the knees are as far as we can get them behind the hips. So this is modified plank. We're still pulling up in through that belly button, still lifting through the pelvic floor. So we're going to do some modified chaturanga push-ups to build strength in that upper body. If you're female, naturally we lack in upper body strength, but we surpass men in our lower body strength, okay? So we want to try to build that strength using our body weight. So I want to show you something really quick. The common mistake in chaturanga or any modification is to pivot the hands in and move the elbows out as if we were doing a push-up. That's not what we do in yoga. In yoga, the middle fingers point forward, we stack the shoulders over the wrists, and then as we start to move down, the elbows move back instead of out. Plug those elbows into the ribs, and then we push up and open the heart, okay? So we're gonna try that a few times. Knees are behind the hips, shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, slowly start to lower that heart. Inhale, push up. Exhale, hinge back to child's pose. Inhale, lift up, building some heat in the body. Exhale, start to lower the heart, stopping where it feels comfortable. Push up, and exhale, hinge back. Let's do two more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, start to lower the heart. Inhale, push up, and exhale, hinge back. One more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, push back. Awesome. On the next inhale, let's take our hands. We'll walk them off the left side of the body. Try to stack that right hand on top of the left and just push the right hip away. Deep inhale. Exhale, the hands come back to center. And then inhale, walk them off the right side of the mat. Left hand stacks on top of the right, if it feels comfortable. Push the left hip away, send deep breaths to that left side of the body. Return those hands to center. Inhale, stack the shoulders over the wrists. Lengthen those legs, so we're in plank, but just for a moment. And exhale, push the hips nice and high. This is our down dog. We always have the option of grabbing a chair and placing the feet right at the top of our mat, making sure it's on the mat so it's nice and sticky and doesn't move. And using that as a modification if this feels uncomfortable to have our head that low, especially if you have high blood pressure or glaucoma, puts a lot of pressure on the eyes. So exhale, lift those hips nice and high, start to pedal the feet out. Alternate releasing one heel to the mat, then in the opposite knee. Nice and slow movements. And then lift that tailbone as high as we can get it to the sky, trying to push the heart towards the thighs. So if we were to shake our head side to side here, our ears would touch our biceps. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Let's start to walk our feet to the top of the mat and just hang out in forward fold. The knees can be bent or they can be straight. We want to be in a place where our fingertips can touch the earth or they can rest on top of a block. Let the head hang nice and heavy. Hands come onto our shins. Let's inhale, peel up to a flat back. Pull the shoulders back towards the hips. Lengthen the crown of the head away from the tailbone. Exhale, release and round back down, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, last time. And exhale, release. Let's take a deep bend in those knees. Slowly roll up, one vertebrae at a time. Very nice. Come to standing at the top of our mat. Inhale, reach the fingertips up. And exhale, draw them down to heart center. Let's do that again. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Let's start to flow a little bit with this bird movement. So imagine that your arms are like the wings of a bird. And you can make this as organic as feels comfortable to you, okay? So when we inhale, we step the left foot back. Open the arms, little back bend, and exhale, bring the hands back to center. Inhale, the right leg steps back. And then exhale, come back through. So feel free to add any movements. Maybe the arms don't extend as far up as mine are. Maybe they just move back in a goalpost sort of way. Make this your own, just bringing some heat and warmth to the body. And then the next time we step back with that left foot, let's anchor it for warrior one. So in warrior one, the toes point slightly in, the heels slightly back. And we try to pivot the hips and the chest to face the front knee, which is bent, okay? We can have our hands at heart center, or if it feels okay on the shoulders and the neck, we can extend the arms up to the sky. Remember, keep those shoulders down away from the ears. If this bothers your knee, feel free to pivot on the ball of the foot and lift up the left heel. But really try to keep it planted if we can. On the next inhale, let's lift up, lengthen that body. Exhale, open up to warrior two. So warrior two, the right heel is in line with the arch of the left foot. That knee never goes past the ankle. Drop the shoulders down, extend through the fingertips. Left hand at the base of the spine, right hand flips up, and then we reverse our warrior. Right fingertips reach over the ear. So try not to change the position of the lower half of the body. The movement's only occurring from the hips up. And then we'll release. That right forearm releases to the thigh. The left arm extends overhead. Try not to let the body weight rest here. Keep up out of that right shoulder. We'll drop the left hand down, pivot on the ball of the back foot, and then let's step back to down dog. Pedal the feet out. And then when we're ready, we can walk or jump to the top of the mat. Forward fold again. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, round through. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release. On the next inhale, let's sweep the fingertips up to the sky, lengthen those legs. Exhale, hands come to heart center, and we're going to have a seat in our chair. So the legs are together, squeeze through the inner thigh. We look like a lightning bolt. So we have the head, and then the hips, then the knees, then the ankles. Sit those hips back, making sure we can see the toes in front of our knees. Breathe here. Another inhale. On the exhale, drop the fingertips, lengthen the legs, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, round down. Inhale, reverse swan dive, sweep the fingertips up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. So we're going to flow on the opposite side this time. I'm going to change around so I'm still facing you. So inhale, the right leg steps back for warrior one. Again, get that 45-degree angle in the foot. Toes point in, heels point back. Hips angle towards that left knee. Arms at heart center, or arms extend up to the sky. And hold here. On the next inhale, lengthen that left leg, reach up. Exhale, open up to warrior two. Change the stance with those feet. So the left heel is in line with the right arch this time. Open that left knee so we can see the toe inside of the knee. Keep rounding down through that outer edge of the right foot. Right hand at the base of the spine, left palm flips up, and then we reverse our warrior. Again, stay strong and stable in the lower half of the body, letting that movement only happen in the spine. We'll release that left forearm to the thigh, right arm extends overhead. Release the right hand to the mat, pivot on the ball of the back foot, and then step back, down dog. Inhale, shift forward to plank, and exhale, down dog. Inhale to plank again, exhale, down dog. We'll look to the top of the mat, and we'll walk or jump our feet to the top. Exhaling in forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, round down. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Reach those fingertips up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center and have a seat in our chair. Last time. Grip those inner thighs. Still lifting up gently through the pelvic floor and the belly button. Never hold the breath. One last inhale. Exhale, drop the hands, lengthen the legs. Let's take our wide stance with the feet. So feet are a little bit wider than hip width apart. Opposite hands to opposite elbows. So ragdoll pose. Deep bend in the knees and let the head hang heavy. Gently rock side to side. Let the shoulders be heavy here. Everything's weighing down to the earth. Let gravity do all the work. Drop the hands, step both feet back to plank, and then lift the hips. Down dog. Let's shift forward to plank, and then drop those knees right underneath of the hips. Excuse me. Make a big circle with that right knee. Moving into the right hip a little bit. And then change directions. And then opposite side, big circles with the left knee. And change directions. And release. Let's turn around. So we're on our sits bones. Nice, easy seated pose. We're going to grab a little stretch in the neck. Let's take our right palm, press it into the mat. Inhale, lift the left fingertips up, and just guide that right ear away from the shoulder. Deep inhale, and exhale. And then switch. The left palm presses into the mat right next to the hip. The right fingertips guide that left ear away from the shoulder. And release. This time the fingertips are going to interlace behind the head. Sit up nice and tall. Elbows move in towards one another. And then very gently the head releases. The chin drops towards the chest. So we're not yanking on the back of the head here. Just kind of letting the pressure of the hands, the weight of the hands, give a nice little stretch to the back of the neck. And release. Let's take that left leg, stretch it out nice and long. The sole of the right foot comes to that inner thigh. So this is where the strap might come in handy. If we're using a strap or an alternative, we could use a long-sleeved shirt. We'll wrap it around the ball of the foot and then return to sitting up nice and tall. Hold on to that strap with both hands. Try not to have the death grip, okay? We don't want to engage a stressor in one part of the body when we're trying to release it in the back of the legs. Sit up nice and tall. Drop the shoulders down and away. Inhale. Exhale, start to hinge at the hips. Dropping the heart towards the shins or towards the knee. So we're not rounding through the spine. We're lengthening through the crown of the head, letting all of the movement happen in the hip socket. So maybe this is as far as we go. Maybe we can get a little bit deeper. And the strap is there really only to help us guide that foot back a little bit. We're not pulling on it to get ourselves down too far. And without the strap, we would just allow those hands to rest next to the thigh, next to the calf, or as long as we don't inch the shoulders up to the ears, we can extend the fingertips towards the foot. We'll slowly start to roll back up. Let's take that right foot. We're going to hop it outside of the left leg. Feel both sits bones in the mat. Inhale, lengthen that spine, and then on the exhale, we're going to twist the belly button towards that right inner thigh. Grab the right leg with the opposite arm. Seated spinal twist. Keep that left leg engaged. So lift up through the kneecap, press the back of the knee into the mat, flex the foot. It sounds like a lot of things that we're doing, and we are, but after a lot of practice, we create muscle memory, and our bodies will always automatically go there. So just practice, practice, practice. Inhale, and then exhale, let's release. We're going to place our palms outside of that left leg, take a nice little bow, counter pose, and then come back up to seated. Let's go toe to toe, heel to heel, Baddha Konasana. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, and then exhale, hinge at those hips and start to roll the heart down. And then we can release in through the cervical spine, let the nose round to the toes. Maybe we move the head side to side, get a nice little stretch in the neck. And then we'll come back up. This time we're going to extend the right leg out long. The sole of the left foot is right in that inner thigh. Flex the toes to the sky. Again, we can use that strap, wrap it around the bottom of the foot, the ball of the foot. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, start to draw the heart forward. Stopping when we've found our edge, that place where we can't really go forward anymore. And we'll roll back up. Release the strap if we had it. Take that left foot, hop it outside of the lengthened leg. Inhale, reach the spine up to the sky. Exhale, twist the belly button to the left inner thigh. The gaze can be over that left shoulder only if it feels comfortable. We don't want to really pull and stretch and tweak that spine. And release. One last time, counter pose. Release those palms outside of the right leg. Take a little bow. And then come back up. Let's make our way to the earth just for a moment. Grab the backs of the thighs, knees to the sky. Tuck the tailbone under and slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time. Feel that spine nice and long on the earth. We're going to hug our knees in towards our chest. Gently rock side to side. Let's open those knees and just hug the knees in closer towards the armpits, so avoiding the rib cage. Play around with this a little bit, maybe adding some movement, extending the knees away from the body, drawing them back in. And then we'll make some circles with those knees. So one hand on either knee, pull the knees in towards the chest, open them towards the armpits all the way out, and then push the knees forward, draw them together. And then bring them back towards the chest. So circles moving in opposite directions for each knee. One more time, and then switch directions. Nice pressure in that lower back and the pelvis when the knees are over top of the pelvis. And then come back to center. Let's round the nose up towards the knees, little person ball. And then release. We'll slowly make our way back up to a comfortable position. Maybe we roll onto one side. Maybe we cross the ankles and rock back and forth. Find a nice, easy seated position. Sit up nice and tall, ending the practice the same way we began. Close the eyes. Take a moment to notice any differences between the beginning of practice and right now. Hopefully we've created some space. Hopefully we notice a little more stillness. Let's bring our hands to heart center. Inhale, fingertips and chin lift to the sky. Exhale, hands come back through to heart center. I thank you so much for sharing a little bit of your day with me today. The divine light in me sees and honors the divine light in you. Namaste.